Okay, everybody, I hope you can hear me. I'm using my little microphone. Let me get this a little lower so you can maybe see it. Yeah, there we go. You can see the top of it. And I tried to do this live stream and it said it wasn't available, and now it's back. Aren't we having fun with AI stuff? That's all I can say. Okay, updates on stuff. Those of you that have been following me, and those of you that are new. And again, I'm not looking for, I mean, it's okay if you want to like my videos, but I'm just looking for even one person that this will make a difference to, okay? Again, I found Kathy Jordan's videos when I just felt lost. There was no hope with ALS. And when I found her videos, I watched them all and she gave me hope. And I decided I'm going to go on the gummies, the THC gummies. I don't smoke marijuana, but she lived 35 years, guys. And she even, I remembered when I got my cancer, how they used the cannabis to get rid of some of her cancer and her brain tumor. The doctor was amazed because the tumor had detached in her brain. This THC was put here on earth by God, everybody, a natural healer. Our bodies actually have cannabinoids in them. As we age, we lose a little bit of that cannabinoid, or however you say it. So, I mean, I had never really taken the stuff, but I decided that I'm going to start. And again, I bought what I just found out, everybody, that the gummies that I had been taking were not really that high a dose, okay? There's grams in marijuana and there's mLs in marijuana. And there's so many mLs in a gram, okay? It's pretty complicated. And I've just gotten coming off of CO2, so I'm going to try to explain all this for you guys. We'll cover the marijuana and then we'll get in on the BiPAP and the vent they just delivered to me today, okay? So anyway, on this marijuana stuff, the ones that I started with were only 100 mgs. Now I have another video you can look up that'll actually show you everything and explain all this, okay? But I started out with 1/4, and I did that every 4 to 6 hours. I try every 6 hours, but you can take them usually they stay in your system about 4 to 6 hours. Now I found this out from a doctor 8 years ago. Now they're saying, oh gosh, you wouldn't believe, they're all over the place. But you know what? I'm going by the doctor, and it's how I've been taking them, and I've had success with this. So about every 6 hours, you take them and you do them all around the clock, okay? So you're taking 4 in a 24-hour period. Now, after I'd been on a fourth for a while, I could tell that I needed to up them a little bit. Saliva was getting a little more choking stuff. So, and I was getting a little more cramping. So then I upped to 1/3. I cut them in 3 pieces. And then after I was on that for a while, then I went on a half a gummy. I was on a half a gummy. I was on a half a gummy for quite a few years. I just stayed on that. And then when I got my cancer, I decided instead of, that I would take them every 4 hours. That would give me probably, because I think the gummies are 10 each, so I was doing 5. And then I think I did go to a full gummy, and then I've even done those every 4 hours when I was going through the cancer stuff to kill my cancer, and it did. I'm still cancer free, and I never had radiation or chemo. My doctors are just dumbfounded that cancer didn't spread in my breast with, when they took that tumor out. Praise God for that. And So, okay, and so now what's happened the last couple weeks, my BiPAP hasn't been working quite right. It's like my BiPAP was like 7 years old and it was starting to defect a little bit. So I don't know if the ASV, I don't think was working in it. I think the BiPAP was, but not the ASV part, and I need the ASV part. That's important when they put you on a machine, have them put you on a BiPAP ASV. That's going to help you more with ALS. Okay, that's what I have been on that for probably 8 or 9 years. I've been on a BiPAP ASV. I loved it. But then all of a sudden, I started having these hot things that were going through me. I started getting confused, doing weird things, and I thought, okay, this isn't normal for me. And then when I asked people on the ALS site, they'd all have been to their doctor having similar things, and guess what? It was CO2. So there we go. Your ALS sites, again, you're going to learn more about ALS than anywhere else you go. That's where I learn things daily. I read what people are posting, and it helps me understand, even though I'm with the disease. But what I find out is, okay, with the THC, I have never ever felt high taking these, okay? What I'm doing now, I was getting so much saliva. I was dealing with CO2, and they were going to try, it was just a mess, okay? And then finally, they decided that I should get on this Astro 150. Okay, it's an NIV, a non-invasive vent. I'm still in a little shock that I'm going to be on a vent because I've been on this BiPAP ASV for 7 years. But see, again, I posted something on my ALS site, and some guy said he'd been on a vent for 8 years, and it's wonderful. So he has given me the encouragement I need for tonight, because tonight they delivered my vent, and tonight will be my first night on that vent. Now, I'm going to have to call him tomorrow because I tried to put this into my online thing that I look to see what my readings are every morning, and it said that I can't do it. So I'm going to ask them if there's an online thing that I can go in and look at my readings, because that helps me know what to do. I have antibiotics. If a lot of times if my phlegm gets too much, my breathing gets worse at night. And if I notice that for 3 nights, I go on an antibiotic for a couple days, and then everything gets better again. So that really helps me. So I'm hoping I can still get on an online thing. That's my only concern so far with this new vent and stuff. But he was wonderful. He brought it to the house. He set it up. He tried everything on me. I get to be on my original mask and head thing. Now the tubing is different and the whole machine thing's different. There's a lot of pieces to it. When I first set it up, it was beeping and I couldn't figure out. And then finally I figured out, okay, I have a little water reservoir that you add to this machine. And if it's on, you have to shut it off. And if you don't shut it off, it beeps. And I wonder if he didn't leave it on just to show me or so I could figure it out when he left. And I finally figured it out that, because the light comes on if it's on and it goes off when it's off. So that's so far. And then the only other thing was trying to find these numbers that my online people wanted. There's a 3 number, and I think it's the 150, but that's the only thing I could find on this machine. So, but they're saying no, that isn't the right number. So maybe tomorrow they can give me the correct number and I can get on my original one. We'll see what happens. So say a prayer for me on that, because I'm going to really miss that, because I check those every morning. That just really helps me stay out of the hospital. Okay. Okay, back on the THC gummies. The THC, my boyfriend, he he smokes a little bit of marijuana because of his spectrum a little bit, and it just keeps him calm, okay? So he needed to buy some little vent things or something. I didn't know what it was. So we went into, I think it was a vape store or something. I'd never been in. And I got in there and I just asked the guy, I said, do you have gummies? Because I've been having trouble getting my pure gummies lately, my sativa. And I need the sativa for the day. And then I do the Indica at night, or I could do a hybrid at night probably too. Okay. So anyway, he's showing me this, oh my gosh, 1,000 mgs and 5,000 mgs and 10,000 mgs. Now, the little gummies I showed all you guys are 100 mgs. So what I'm saying is those are a lower dose, but if you have never been on marijuana like I wasn't, they're the perfect thing to start with, okay? And start out, cut them in fours, take one gummy for the whole day, but take them four times a day, or through the 24-hour period every 6 hours. And then what I'm going to do with these, see, I was having too much saliva. I was having, this other stuff, and I couldn't tell what was all from my machine not working and if I'm progressing or I needed to up my dose. You'll know when you need to up your doses, okay? You'll have a lot more things. And the other thing is it's important to find the type of gummy that works best for you. What I'm finding out, research, if you go on YouTube and you look up different types of marijuana, they really explain it well. And this one that I picked up the other day is a THCA, and that's not supposed to be real. If you don't heat it up, it isn't hallucinating, okay? But then it also has Delta 9, which can have that, okay? And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, right now, I mean, I had went from starting out at 10 and 20, 24 hours to going to 20 to 30 to 40, in a 24-hour period. Now, these are 250 mgs a piece, these little gummies. They're not very big, they're just little squares. And I'm just thinking, holy cow. So I come home and I studied and I looked and I studied this stuff. And then I thought, you know what? It has some good things in it. Let's try it. And what I did is I cut that pill in 6 pieces, 6 of them, because 6 divided by 250 is 40, okay? So they're 40. They're about what I was taking in a 24-hour period. So I'm going to drop my afternoon one, the one I take noon of my pure gummies. I'm not going to take that one now. I'm just going to take it when I wake up at 6. And then I take 1/6 of these really highfalutin gummies, okay, at noon. And that gets me through my day till 6, okay? And I have to say, they are working fantastic. They told me, because I'd been on these 8 years, that he says you probably build up a resistance, so don't worry so much about it. But see, again, I'm very cautious. So with getting a brand new vent today and changing, to take this higher potent medicine in the afternoons. This is my 3rd day. But I have to say, my saliva, I haven't even had to take my Mucinex since I went on these at noon. So now I'm starting to think, wow, maybe I need to take little pieces and be more on this, and maybe go get a hybrid for the night, and we'll see how that does. But once I get used, this week I'm going to go ahead and go through these 6, okay, and get used to this vent for a week. Once I'm all my CO2 is better. This vent's supposed to get rid of a lot of this CO2 that I've been getting, okay? And I think you could see my vascular system's affected, and I think that can affect your lungs and CO2. I mean, there's so much complex stuff with ALS. It drives you crazy, and we're all affected different. And my biggest issues is the vascular system, which affects your heart, and it affects your blood pressure, affects your lungs, affects your breathing, affects your temperature. I mean, it's you name it, it affects it. Okay. The other thing I'm going to bring up too to help everybody, and this is going to sound crazy because those that know me know I ruined my stomach muscles early on, and I have trouble going to the bathroom. Okay, so I am down to I take 5 little miniature Tootsie Rolls in the morning, and I take 5 little teeny Tootsie Rolls at night. And then I drink Smooth Move tea 1 time a week. And I go every day. I only have to drink that Smooth Move once, and then just eating those little Tootsie Rolls, and then, whatever I eat in between. And I have been able to go to the bathroom every day without having, because I don't have muscles to push. I go sit on there, and then it's like everything I don't have to push hardly at all because I can't push, but I take my hands and push, and then I can go. So that's another tip for you if you're having issues with that. With ALS, we have all kinds of issues. I mean, you just deal with them, you change. With me, I have changed my whole lifestyle on how I do things, where I go, when I go. I do. Now you see my fan over here, okay? I'm in Arizona, so sometimes it just gets hot. And with my vascular system, sometimes my thermostat don't work. And then you throw my CO2 hot things with fun. Not really. But also this fan, like I've told people, I just do my vent at night. Now I'm sure, hopefully not for another 8 years. I'm hoping this will last as long as my last one, and I can keep alive with my lungs. We'll see what happens. And my new gummies, my highfalutin gummies, we'll see. But this fan, like I don't use anything during the day. Okay, I use the vent at night because I mostly have trouble when I'm sleeping. Okay, with not breathing. But this fan, if my oxygen drops, let's say it goes down, into the low 90s, and I put this fan over here by me, I check it again after 10-15 minutes, and my oxygen's back up. So I have a fan, like I've told people before, I have a fan here by my computer. I have one in the living room and one by the foot of my bed, and I blow that fan all night. And the reason I do that is on my BiPAP, so our electricity goes in and out, okay? And I was scared if it went out, at least that would be more air going in those little things that they had if you did have a failure. Now, this is the other great thing I had been looking at, because sometimes the electricity goes out, the water goes out, you know how it goes. And I was going to buy a generator. Well, this vent has an 8-hour battery on it. So if the electricity goes out, the battery will kick in and I'll still be okay. So that's awesome. Or you click it over to the battery. I haven't figured that out, but I do know it has that battery. So I'm very excited over that because that has been an issue for me. I'm just kind of nervous because, like I said, for 8 years, my body's been on this BiPAP ASV, and tonight I'm going to be on this vent, and I don't understand vents enough to know how this is going to affect me. But I know one thing on my BiPAP ASV, I go to bed at 10 or 11 and I'd wake up at 3 and I would be awake, wide awake. I couldn't even go back to sleep. And it's because my heart rate would be too low, or my oxygen dropped too low, or I quit breathing too long. I mean, who knows what's all going on. And then I just get up, and sometimes I stay up. I mean, I wasn't getting hardly any sleep there for a while. But I, thank goodness, I'd ordered my Vinia coffee, and those are little pods, or you can have tea or whatever. And that Vinia coffee gives me more energy, okay? Almost too much energy. So what I do is I use that pod. I just leave it in there and I run the water through 3 days in a row. Then I throw the pot away. Plus it's expensive and that kind of stretch it, but it also, so I'm not getting such a strong amount every time. And it works for the 3 days. So another tip for you, if you get the Vinia coffee, just leave your little pot in there for 3 days. It'll work for you. Yeah, that's what made me nervous with these new meds, because my body is so sensitive. And if it don't like something, I throw it up. It doesn't, if it don't like something, or I have all kinds of issues. So I always have to listen to my body. My mind and my body sometimes don't agree, but you know what? I got to listen to the body. and so, when I started these heavier THCs, I was a little worried, but I didn't have any issues at all. If anything, I felt a little more alert. I felt better. My saliva got better. I could eat. I was getting to where I couldn't even eat. Okay. I didn't have no appetite. I didn't want to eat. It wasn't good. Okay. And before my BiPAP machine went by, I was at like 11 hours on my machine one night. That's what I mean. I was like 10, 11 hours on that BiPAP, and then all of a sudden I'm only 3 and 4 hours a night and I have to get up. That was crazy. I guess I can tell by that. If I can't get my online stuff again, I can at least tell by that something's out of whack. But I give you people credit taking care of us people with ALS, because I still do my own caretaking. My boyfriend helps me when I need help or ask. He comes every week and he stays about 3 or 4 days, and he does anything that I need done. And he's real good at encouraging me to keep trying things when I can do them. And I have to say, he's probably why I'm doing good too, because I wasn't even cooking. And when we started going together, he encouraged me to cook. And so I ended up buying some lightweight pans, and then I started cooking some things that I did a long time ago when I was cooking. And gosh, now I'm making Jello sometimes. I buy for breakfast. I cook eggs. I buy those little potatoes, the little squares you buy them. They come in a little box, and you just throw a little butter in the pan and throw them in there and send them. And they're like hash browns. I love those. If I can't eat anything else, I can eat one of them potatoes. And potatoes have a lot of potassium in them, and I don't choke on them. So it's one of my feed things that I eat all the time. And then I buy the pre-cooked little round sausages, and then I just throw a little butter in the pan, and I use real butter, and I throw those in there. And there my body seems to want the salt from those, okay? So I get my protein, I get my potassium, I get the protein from the sausage and that. So that's my standard breakfast. And then I buy those pre-cooked little bowls that have the eggs, the potatoes, the little pieces of ham or sausage in them. I think they're $2. some mornings I just don't feel like cooking, or I just can't eat that much, and I just throw one of them little bowls in the microwave, and those things are yummy. Um, and I buy the little biscuits that have the egg and the sausage and the cheese and put them up there, and that's good some mornings. And that's, you know, I do a lot of microwave cooking, I guess, with my TV dinners and stuff. But and with the CO2, I had been doing more cooking, but when the CO2 started, I just I wasn't real comfortable cooking all the time. This morning, I'll tell you how the CO2 acts is. This morning I get up, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up again, come out in the kitchen, I'm gonna make my coffee, and then I picked up I made my coffee, sat down, and then I thought, you know what, I should wash this. I picked up a cup, I do these insulated lightweight things with the lids on them. And my one that I done with some collagen in the other day, I thought I better wash that. Well, when I picked it up and dumped it out, it was full, and I thought, gosh, I thought I drank all that. And then I thought, where'd my coffee go? Here I dumped out my coffee I just made. But see, that's a CO2. You know that you got confused, okay? Where just getting old, we just can't remember everything, okay? But yeah, if you're getting confused a lot, that and for your caretakers, and then they're getting these hot things, that is your CO2. Um, so anyway, we'll see what happens tonight. Now, my respiratory guy said the first time he talked to me when my machine wasn't working, he says, I could tell that you were having CO2 before you even figured it out. So I don't know what else was happening, but I'll tell you, it's no fun, and you can die from CO2. So you have to do something. I'm pretty impressed because I kind of got the runaround, you know, and I just, when I went to my doctor, what do you need? And I said, I'm not worried about anything till I get this new machine. I said, I'm feeling horrible, and the only thing that's going to fix me is to get this new machine. And I even told my cancer doctor that I can't worry about my cancer right now. I got to worry about my CO2 in this machine. And then my neurologist ended up freaked out and sent me to the pulmonary person, and I couldn't get in there for 6 weeks. And I thought, God, am I going to die? I mean, I never yelled at anybody, and I yelled at the gal at the thing because she was saying, well, you might have to come back and do this and that. You might have to do this. And it's like, no, I am not going to have a sleep study. I do not have sleep apnea. I have ALS. I have weak diaphragm. I have muscles messing up my lungs. I have, all this other stuff going on, and that's not why I'm on there, okay? So anyway, I felt so bad because I don't yell at people, but that's what CO2 will do to you, okay? And so anyway, and that might be something to look at if some of your patients with ALS are getting really irritated and yelling at you or being impossible. Because my boyfriend even said, you need to try these new meds and hopefully your machine so you'll be happier and not so cranky all the time. And I didn't realize I was that cranky, but there you go, folks. There's a tip right there. Make sure it's not CO2, because that really it makes you irritated because you're confused, and you're confused. I mean, it's horrible. I hated it. And then I worried about everything, So anyway, I just wanted to update you that I did get my vent. They came, they set it up, and I was kind of like, holy cow, I guess I know I have ALS and I live my life as ALS because I have to change everything that my life was before with my ALS. But I'm still walking, I'm talking, my arms working. Um, the things I have done, everybody, on these videos I've showed you have worked for me. And I get so sad because you have to try different gummies. I bought 3 different types of gummies, and 2 of them I tried, and they just didn't do anything for me. Now, the third one, when I took it, it was almost like, ta-da, I feel almost normal again. That's the what you get, not a high. It's like, wow, I feel like me again. I feel a little more normal. I can swallow. I'm not choking every 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? That's what when you get the right gummy. And you have to get the right dose. Now, if you're somebody that has smoked marijuana or taken marijuana, you can start out maybe with a half a gummy, okay? Or try a fourth a gummy one day, do like I'm doing, and then maybe, I'll probably end up with 1/4 of a gummy again, but I'm starting out slow, like I'm showing you, and I'm slowly working, letting my body get used to it. The other trick is you have to take these every 6 hours, even through I go to bed at midnight and my body wakes me up at 6 to take my meds. I go back to sleep sometimes. I take them at noon again. I take them at 6 o'clock again. Do what's ever easiest for you. If you go to bed at 8, then start at 8 and figure out, but you have to wake up in the night. And I have my gummies, my day gummies and my night gummies by my bed because I take my 6 o'clock day gummies and go back to sleep. And then when I get up, I'm not so fatigued and stuff. Okay, I feel better. So I do my sativa one at noon and I do one at 6 in the morning. At 6 at night, I take my night one, and that starts winding me down to go to sleep. And then by the time I take my second one around 11, 12 at night, I put that mask on and I'm out. Okay. So try this. People try it. I mean, even try it for a month. When I first started taking my fourth, that's right when I got diagnosed. And this is interesting. This is a true story. I started out almost was bald, like with the lungs and the saliva, with my voice. My voice is only half there according to AI because I'm on ARC and I do my voice things and I go look at the results and my voice is half gone, but I'm still talking. People can still hear me, But they told me 8 years ago I was going to lose my voice right away. And when I went back, my voice was better. And the lady says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm taking THC." She says, "I don't think you need to be here." And I says, "Well, maybe I don't." I said, "I just started these." And she says, "Well, you're better, so you go home." And the other thing I'm going to tell you is when they did my CAT scan, when they diagnosed me, I already knew that I had ALS. When they did the gene testing and I had 2 genes, I already knew because I wasn't going to get tested for that till I was pretty sure I had ALS, okay? But I hadn't got my final diagnosis, but I started on my gummies, okay? And when they did that, that guy came out on my CAT scan on my brain and he says, "Lady, whatever you're doing, keep doing it because you had something in the front of your brain and it stopped and it hasn't went any further." Now with C9, you can get like a dementia thing in the front of your brain. Now, I'm guessing that's what was happening and it stopped because of the THC. Now, I will tell you also this Vinea coffee I got, gave me more energy, and it did the third day. They say 3 months if you're on it, then you'll notice you've got more energy and blah, 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 clearer head. But you know what? Mine, 3 days later, it's like I can't even drink this afternoon or I can't get to sleep at night. It gives me so much energy. It also helped my brain fog a little bit from the ALS brain fog. And I started doing the mind games and I could just whip through them everything. Now, this last 3 or 4 weeks with my CO2, I'm missing more because of my CO2. So I could tell there was something going on there too. So, but um, anyway, I just wanted to upgrade. You know, I'm in my 8th year. I'm soon going to be in my 9th year. And I'm hoping to make it to 10. Everybody says if you make it to 10, that one ALS doctor will come out and see you and see what you did to make it to 10, okay? So I don't know if he still does that, but if I make it to 10, I hope he does come out, because and the reason I'm making these videos, everybody, is because that's all I had when when I found out I had the genes and I had ALS. I had already been studying all over to see what they were doing, how long people were living with what they were doing and different things. And my goal was to be mobile as long as I could. And I just thought if I start these gummies right away, even on this low dose, because according to Kathy Jordan, when she started smoking marijuana, she said it helped her saliva. She could swallow better. And she swore that she never got much worse. Okay. She lived 35 years. And then she's my age, and then she passed away. 35 years with ALS. Now that's amazing. And all she did was smoke marijuana. I don't smoke, so I do the gummies. And I like the gummies. I think they stay in your body more. I just have to take them every 6 hours instead of smoking, you know. So there's something to this, and it's just you have to find your right dose. You have to find your right gummy. And I didn't know, because I kept thinking, man, what am I going to do? I'm already at 40 and my gummies are costing me a fortune. What am I going to do? And when I found these higher gummies, and the guy told me people with cancer are taking these type of gummies, and I studied them, and they had all kinds of things for inflammation, all different stuff. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to keep on my other 3 and just try this at noon. And it's working. In fact, I'm almost thinking of going on these and getting some hybrid like them and taking the hybrid at night and just take my little teeny pieces of those. And if it makes me better, hallelujah. So we'll see, and I'll update you on that. But right now I'm only doing 1/6 of one of those gummies, because that's 40 mgs. So I'm up to 70 mgs a day now, okay? But I never feel high. But I've got so much energy, it's crazy, okay? Between the Vinia, we'll see on this new machine, and my sativa gummies and stuff. It's like, I mean, you wouldn't guess that I was bedridden for 2 years and almost died with COVID 5 years ago. They sent me home to die, and my BiPAP ASV is what kept me alive. If you just got diagnosed with ALS and you're like me and you were looking for somebody and you find this video, you tell your doctor you need to get on a BiPAP ASV machine, and that will lengthen your life. And you know what? Now they're saying it'll lengthen your life 2 years. Look at how it's lengthened my life. Okay. I'm 8 years almost into 9. Okay. It works. That's the only thing, the only two things I have seen that extended people's life without them getting, you know, any worse than what they were. I mean, I'm at believe it or not, I'm at 31 or 32 on that AFR scale or whatever it's called. And I have been holding there for like 6 months. And I guess that's why I thought, okay, it's time. Once you get in your 20s, that's not good, okay, on that score. And I know that. And I started out at 47 because I was on a BiPAP machine and because of the issues I was having with my lungs and everything, okay, because of the ALS. So, that's why I'm upping my meds, taking a little stronger THC, and now I'm on this vent. So we'll see if I can make it another 8 years. That's my goal. Okay, everybody, I've rambled enough, but I had so much to cover tonight. Oh, wow, 41 minutes. I am so sorry I talked so long, but so much to cover, and I just want to help you guys, okay? That's why I do this, because Kathy Jordan helped me, and I think of her often, and I think, okay, I need to do what she did to help somebody else. And if I even save one person or give them more years because of something I told you or I've done or experienced, this was worth it for me, okay? God bless you all, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.